A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
I'm nervous, I'm excited.
I'm not exactly sure what to expect.
Maybe 85% of my family came from various small towns around Poland, and I'm anxious to learn about how life was.
I'm just here to find out things for myself.
I went on the very first march in 1988. I wanted to go because my grandparents were both Holocaust survivors. I was 17 and I was in grade 11. It was very small at that time. Between Montreal, Toronto, and coast to coast, we were one bus. When I went, I thought I was going to get answers. I came back with more questions than ever.
I went on the March of the Living in 1998. I was in grade 10. My grandparents were survivors. Going on the March of the Living was a way for me to connect personally with that history of our family. You can hear stories, you can read books, but really being there brings it to life in a different way. I remember getting ready to line up with the Jewish kids from all around the world. I remember thinking like how amazing an experience this is.
The moment that meant the most to me on my trip was Havdalah in Warsaw. There were many candles in the room, and at the end of the Havdalah, we put the candles out in the wine as per the tradition. And the room got very dark.
But the darker it got, the louder we were. Even when the light goes out and it seems like the flame goes out, the flame lives on in each and every one of us, and our singing really showed that.
I went on the March of the Living as a young adult. I was in my early 20s. We went to a synagogue in Tikocin. And all the groups from the March of the Living got together and sung and danced. And filled this synagogue full of life.
I went on the March of the Living as a participant in 2001. I remember I was 16 years old and I went to visit Schindler's factory. And my grandmother was saved by Oskar Schindler. When I visited Schindler's factory, my grandmother's photo had been erected outside the factory along with other survivors that Schindler had saved. That was one of the most powerful moments. Just being in the space and having a tangible picture. And it connected my grandmother and I in a way that can only be felt through being there. I was able to share the story with my fellow participants, and it was the most memorable moments of my teen years.
I went as a participant in 2009. I remember the gas chambers in Auschwitz, and it was a very emotional moment. One of the survivors was sort of there supporting us. asked him, how can you be so strong and through these moments? And he said, I'm here for you and not for me. He sort of provided an example of how life should be lived.
Going to Israel was my first time to Israel. And so that contrast between sort of darkness and light was a reminder of just how important a place it is for us because of what we just experienced.
The march has always been an important part of my life. That was the moment as an 18-year-old, I owned my own Jewish identity.
One of the things that sticks with me is just how lucky we are to live in the country that we live, to have the freedoms that we do.
Yavo shalom aleinu, Yavo shalom aleinu, Yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo shalom aleinu, Od Yavo shalom aleinu, Yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. My single step began on the March of the Living.
Yavo shalom aleinu, Od Yavo shalom aleinu, Yavo shalom aleinu.